Hey guys, Thomas Cousins here from Wakely Properties in Paddington. The title of this video is The Vibe of the Thing, if you remember the classic Australian movie The Castle. So videos about today is how a negotiation changes when there's something formal in place versus when you're just talking about numbers or expressions of interest and that kind of thing. So I'll touch on it from both sides of the equation here. So as a buyer, it's in your interest to put forward a formal offer so that the seller's got something to consider. If you're just putting numbers forward by way of I'd tell the seller I'd pay this, or a text message or an email, and expecting to get a result, you're very unlikely to get it. Look, it can happen, I've seen it happen, but unlikely to get the result you're after. The negotiation changes, the vibe of it, the dynamics of it, it all changes when there's something formal, when there's actually a decision to be made. So the decision's made when you've actually got a formal written offer with all of the contract conditions and signatures and dates and everything on it, so that you can actually make a decision then and there. If all you're doing is putting forward an expression of interest or an email or a text message or suggesting that you'd pay a certain price, it's so easy to say no to it because there really isn't a decision to be made there. So that's from the buyer's side of things. From the seller's side of things, you should be really pushing for, if you've got an agent that's just bringing you offers by way of expressions of interest, you really should be pushing for them to bring you a formal offer. I personally only operate via formal offer, reason being, same as for the buyer, it really makes a negotiation a real live negotiation with a decision to be made at the end of it when there's something there in black and white in writing. So you bring the offer to the seller now has a decision to be made, but by the same token, the buyer is now invested in that process emotionally, and you learn very early on in your life that you shouldn't sign things, or you should be very careful about signing things. So the whole dynamics of the negotiation changes when there's actually a signature's been made there. So you've got something that you can take to the seller can make the decision, but by the same token, now the buyer's interested, the buyer's involved, and the buyer wants to make this work as well. So that's when you're going to get the best possible outcome, by having a formal offer, not by back and forwardsing via text message or by talking about numbers just verbally. Anyway, it's the vibe of the thing. Thanks guys, see you later.